God says, someone in heaven is desperately trying to contact you since the last 2 hours. Because your wait is over, open it immediately. Sometimes we carry so much weight in our hearts that even the softest moments feel heavy. Maybe you've felt it too, that quiet longing, that deep ache of waiting, not knowing when your breakthrough will come, not knowing if it ever will. But right now, heaven is leaning in. God wants you to know your waiting has not been in vain. Every tear, every prayer, every silent moment you spent hoping for light in your darkness, none of it has gone unnoticed. Heaven is reaching for you right now, not in judgment, but with love that is fierce, tender, and unshakably faithful. God has not forgotten you. He never has. Type 1414 if you trust in God. Somewhere in your soul you might have heard it. A whisper that sounded like hope, maybe in your dreams or when you were alone with your thoughts. It felt like something or someone was trying to reach you. Maybe you shook it off, maybe you didn't know what to do with that feeling. But the truth is, that was not your imagination. That was heaven touching earth. That was the Spirit calling gently to your heart. Because when you feel lost, heaven sends a light. When you are weak, God leans in with strength you didn't know you had. And when the waiting becomes unbearable, the heavens respond. Right now, someone who walked with Jesus, someone who watches over you from eternity, someone whose heart is bound to yours in love, is whispering your name before God's throne. Not in sorrow, but with joy, because the time of waiting is ending. The clouds are starting to part. The dawn is coming, not just as a promise, but as a real, living presence that's making its way into your life. This is not just another day. This is a turning point. You have cried in silence, smiled through your pain, and kept going when everything inside you screamed to give up. That strength, that quiet, stubborn strength, is the kind of faith that moves mountains. And even though you didn't see the mountain move yet, heaven has been working. God has been preparing the answer, shaping the outcome, arranging divine moments you haven't seen yet. While you waited, He was working. Type 2121 if you believe. Sometimes, the most powerful miracles begin not with thunder, but with a quiet whisper in your soul. That whisper says, "Hold on, I'm not done with you. Your story isn't finished." God's love for you is not weak, it is not distant, and it certainly is not silent. It speaks in the language of mercy, of second chances, of healing that reaches into the deepest corners of your heart. What's coming isn't just relief, it's restoration. What's ahead isn't just a blessing, it's a reminder that you are always loved, always chosen, always seen. Someone in heaven is calling out, not with words, but with love. It's the kind of love that moves through the veil of eternity and brushes your shoulder when you feel most alone. You may not see them, but they are close, and they are celebrating what God is about to do in your life. It's not a coincidence that you're here, right now, reading this. It's divine timing. It's heaven's message finding you when you needed it most. Hold this truth tightly. Your pain was not wasted. Your delay was not denial. Your loneliness was not abandonment. Everything you've walked through has been woven into a greater story, and God is the author who never leaves a chapter unfinished. You're not forgotten. You're not too late. And you're not too broken. You are loved. Still. When the heart is weary, it's easy to forget that God's timing is not our own. But He always comes through, always, not a single second too late. He knows when your spirit is stretched thin, and He steps in just when you think the silence will never end. And when He does, He brings peace that doesn't just soothe the mind, but breathes life back into the soul. That's what's happening now. That's why you've been feeling that nudge. It's the beginning of a holy shift. So today, take a deep breath. Let the weight you've been carrying for so long begin to lift. Let your heart lean into hope again, even if it's just a little. Trust that what's unfolding is not random. It's sacred, it's seen. It's the hand of God, reaching into your story, reminding you that no pain, no prayer, and no piece of your heart has been overlooked. There is something sacred happening around you right now, even if everything seems quiet. Even if your world feels still or slow or uncertain, heaven is moving. What you cannot see with your eyes is being prepared with love. Sometimes God doesn't speak loudly, not because He's far, but because He's drawing you closer, inviting you to lean in and listen with your heart. And if your spirit has been tired, if the weight has worn you down, this moment is a whisper of hope that is meant just for you. Type 444 if you believe God is working in your life, even when you cannot see it. There are prayers you've whispered in the dark, words you've only spoken through tears, thoughts you never dared to share aloud, and yet every single one of them has reached heaven. Every word, every cry, every unspoken ache has touched the heart of God. You have never been alone, not for a second. He was there when you couldn't sleep, when you felt left behind, when you held on just one more day without knowing why. Those moments were not forgotten. They were held in His hands like treasure, because your heart matters that much to Him. Heaven sees what you're facing, and not only that, it celebrates your strength, your persistence, your quiet faith. Someone in eternity, someone who once knew the weight of life on earth, is speaking your name to God even now. They are not warning you of loss. They are reminding you of promise. They are rejoicing because they see what you cannot yet see. They know something holy is approaching, not because of chance, not because of luck, but because God's timing has arrived. There is a door in front of you that was once hidden. It didn't open before because it wasn't time. You weren't ready yet, not because you weren't worthy, but because God was still building something better. What's coming now is not rushed or random. It has been made just for you. A season of breakthrough, of peace, of clarity, of deep soul-healing joy. The kind that doesn't just bring temporary relief, but the kind that rebuilds what was broken. There are moments in life that feel like waiting rooms. You don't know what's coming, and it feels like nothing is changing. But waiting is never wasted when God is involved. In those hidden places, He was strengthening you, protecting you from doors that weren't meant for you, guiding you quietly, even when you felt forgotten. That time is coming to a close. The page is turning now. Something is shifting, something good, something eternal. The reason you've felt that tug in your spirit, the reason you've sensed something stirring, is because heaven has already begun the work. You're about to see the fruit of the faith you carried through the desert. You're about to walk into rooms you thought you'd never enter. You're about to witness blessings that carry healing, not just for your body, but for your soul. The kind of healing that fills the cracks with grace and makes broken places whole again. There is someone in heaven who walked before you, who prays over you now, and they are not silent. Their love for you has not ended with this life. It lives in God's presence, alive and real, and they are celebrating the new season you are about to walk into. They have seen your tears, and they are watching now, not with sadness, but with overwhelming joy, because what's been promised is near. They know that the season of silence is ending, and God is about to speak loudly in your life through peace, provision, and purpose. Type 555 if you are ready to receive the peace that only God can give. Your name is written on the heart of God. Your journey has not been overlooked. Your pain has not been dismissed. Even when others didn't understand, even when it felt like no one saw you, God did. And He still does. You are His beloved. You are His creation. And what He begins, He always finishes. The waiting is ending. The night is almost over. And your morning is almost here. In the quietness of this moment, God wants to remind you that you don't need to chase His love. It's already chasing you. You don't need to earn your breakthrough. It's already been written. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to stay open. Let go of what you thought had to happen and trust that what God is preparing is far better than what you imagined. What's coming will make sense of what didn't. It will bring light to the shadows and calm to the storms. You have walked with tired feet, but still you moved forward. You have believed when nothing around you gave you reason to. That kind of faith moves heaven. That kind of belief shifts seasons. God is honoring it now, not with temporary things, but with lasting peace, deep joy, and healing that transforms from the inside out. What felt like delay was really God holding back until everything was aligned perfectly for your good. Someone in heaven knows what you've faced, and they are standing with you in spirit, closer than you know. They are not gone. They are present in the love of God that surrounds you every moment. Their voice is part of the wind that whispers to your soul, "Don't give up. It's coming. Everything is about to change." And as you read this, let it sink in. Let it soften the parts of you that grew tired of waiting. Let it bring comfort to the spaces that have longed for clarity. You are seen, you are loved, and the breakthrough is already underway. You don't need to know how it will happen, you only need to keep your heart open. We wonder if we are heard, if we are seen, if our prayers are reaching past the ceiling. But God wants you to know that heaven has been listening every single time. He never turned away, not even once. He has been walking beside you through the hardest hours, even the ones where it felt like no one else noticed. The weight you've carried wasn't invisible to him, it was sacred. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, even when it's hard. There is a reason you have felt something tugging at your heart lately. It's not a random feeling. That restlessness, that stirring in your spirit, that sudden flood of emotion for no reason, it's heaven trying to speak. It's God preparing your heart to receive what He's about to place in your life. Not a small shift, but a complete change of season. Not just a gentle breeze, but a wave of healing, peace, and breakthrough that will wash over everything you thought was beyond repair. God sees your scars. He knows the stories behind every one of them, the things you lost, the people you miss, the dreams that slipped through your fingers, and He doesn't ask you to forget them. Instead, He holds them with you, wraps them in His love, and promises that none of it will go to waste. Your pain has a place in His plan, not to harm you, but to reveal a deeper strength and grace that only He could create out of broken pieces. Someone in heaven who once stood beside you in life is still close now. Their love didn't end when their life on earth did. It simply moved into a higher place, a place where time no longer separates and love is never silenced. They have watched you hold on when it would have been easier to give up. They have whispered over you when you were too tired to pray. And right now they are crying out with joy because they see what's ahead. They know what you don't. The time has come. This season will not look like the last. The pain that lingered, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the long nights where all you could do was breathe, those things are being transformed. You are stepping into a divine moment where everything begins to shift. And it won't be by your own strength. It will be by the grace of God who has seen the whole path before you and has waited patiently for the right moment to unfold His plan. Type yes to affirm your trust in God's plan for your life. God's love is not a fleeting feeling. It is a constant presence, a shelter, a promise that doesn't depend on your circumstances. Even when everything feels like it's falling apart, God is still building something new. Even when you feel forgotten by people, you are remembered by Him. And right now, heaven is moving on your behalf. Right now, there is movement in the unseen. Doors are unlocking, chains are breaking, healing is forming, answers are coming. The person you were 6 months ago, a year ago, or 5 years ago, you have grown, you have endured, you have walked through valleys, and you're still standing. And now, because of that endurance, because of your quiet faith, something new is being released over your life. Not just comfort, but transformation. Not just hope, but fulfillment. What you thought was gone for good is being restored in a better form. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are right where you are meant to be, for God to begin what He has always planned. That delay wasn't punishment, it was protection. If you had received what you wanted back then, it wouldn't have lasted. But now, you're ready. Now, your heart is prepared to carry what's coming. And what's coming is beautiful, lasting, and full of peace. God isn't just going to mend what was broken. He's going to create something entirely new, something that brings you joy in a way you never thought possible again. It will be gentle, and it will come without striving. You won't have to force it. You won't have to chase it. You'll simply have to receive it. That's how you'll know it's from Him. It will arrive with peace, not pressure. Someone in heaven is dancing right now, not because you're perfect, but because you never gave up. They are proud of you, not for your success, but for your strength, for choosing faith when fear was louder, for choosing love when loss tried to harden your heart, for choosing to keep believing when everything told you it was time to quit. Their love is alive, and through God, it still surrounds you. God is not asking you to figure it all out. He is only asking you to stay open to what He is doing, to stay soft, even when life has been hard, to keep believing, even when your heart has been bruised, because what He's doing now isn't based on your past, it's based on His love. And that love is relentless. It does not leave, it does not give up, it does not grow tired. Let your heart rest tonight in this truth. The wait has not been in vain. What's on the way will make the past make sense. What's ahead is holy ground. You will walk in peace again. You will laugh again without the weight behind your smile. You will love again with freedom and fullness. Not because life is perfect, but because God is faithful. There is a whisper from heaven that says, it's time. Not time to be afraid, not time to shrink back, but time to rise, time to receive, time to believe that the hard part is coming to an end. You've walked through enough. Now it's time to walk into what God has prepared. There is a reason your heart has felt heavy lately, even on the good days, even when things seemed fine on the outside. That quiet ache, that strange sense that something is shifting inside you, it hasn't been for nothing. It's not confusion, it's not worry. It's the Spirit letting you know that something new is about to begin. A chapter you didn't expect. A peace you've almost forgotten how to hope for. A joy that's not loud but deep and still and sacred. Heaven has been speaking softly. And now, the message is arriving, the wait is over. Type 1919 to receive miracles you've been waiting for. There are times when you walk through life and feel like you're surrounded by people but still feel unseen. You give your heart, your effort, your prayers, but nothing seems to change. You wonder if heaven is listening at all. You wonder if maybe your voice doesn't reach as far as you hoped. But you need to know this today. God never missed a single cry from your heart. Not one tear slipped past Him. Not one hope was lost. Everything you thought went unnoticed has been treasured by Him. There is a moment, not far from now, when you will see how all the pieces fit together. It may not happen in a flash or dramatic sign, but in a calm knowing deep inside your spirit. God isn't rushing you. He's leading you with care. You're not falling behind. You're being carried through to something better, something lasting, something holy. And right now, someone in heaven is smiling because they know that the time you thought would never come is finally here. That voice you keep sensing, the one that feels familiar in your dreams or when you're in stillness that's not your imagination, that's a heavenly reminder that you are surrounded by more love than you realize. Someone who once walked beside you in this world is still close in spirit, still bound to you in God's eternal love, and they have been trying to remind you of something beautiful. You were never meant to live this life alone. You are being carried in ways you cannot see. The pain you've been through, the quiet disappointments, the long nights, those were not punishments. They were preparation. The things you thought were delays were really a form of mercy. God didn't want you to walk through the wrong door. He didn't want you to settle for what wouldn't last. That waiting protected you. It may not have felt like protection at the time, but now it's starting to become clear. He was saving the best for the right moment. There's a different kind of joy that comes when you realize your life has never been in your own hands. It doesn't remove the sorrow you've felt, but it brings meaning to it. Every time your faith held on through the storm, you were drawing closer to a promise that never left you. The pain wasn't pointless. It softened your heart in a way only God could understand. And now, the healing that is coming will touch not just your circumstances, but your soul. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to walk with you into this new season. Sometimes the answer doesn't come when we want it, because our hearts need time to grow into it. You are stronger now. Not hard, not cold, not bitter, but stronger in faith, stronger in patience, stronger in your quiet belief that God is still good, even when life feels like it's falling apart. That strength is about to open doors that once seemed sealed shut, not because of effort, but because of grace, not because you earned it, but because God promised it. What's coming isn't random, it's personal, it's for you, tailored by the Creator who knows your heart better than anyone else ever could. And it's not just about solving a problem or answering a prayer, it's about restoring something deep in your spirit. It's about giving you back what was stolen by fear, by loss, by time. It's about making you whole again in ways you didn't even know you needed. The person in heaven who has been trying to reach you may be someone you lost, someone you miss, someone who loved you deeply when they were here. They are still tied to you in the eternal love of Christ. They have seen your struggle, and they have rejoiced in your resilience. They are not calling out to warn you, but to celebrate with you, because something new is breaking through the heaviness. A door is opening, and everything you've been praying for is closer than it's ever been. God's love is not limited to the past. It moves through time. It heals wounds from years ago. It answers prayers you forgot you even prayed. It speaks through loss and brings beauty out of ashes. What's ahead for you will not just make life feel lighter. It will make your spirit feel safe again, rested, held, whole. There is so much you have survived that others will never see. Silent battles, deep losses, fears you couldn't explain. But God saw, heaven saw, and they are not silent now. They are rising in response to your faith. This moment isn't just another step forward, it's the beginning of something sacred. You will begin to feel joy in places where pain once lived. You will begin to hope again without fear of disappointment. You will start to trust again, not because things are perfect, but because God is steady. Let your heart begin to loosen its grip on what hurt you. Let yourself believe that good things can still happen for you, that you're not too far gone, that your time is not over, that the best wasn't behind you. It's still ahead, waiting to meet you with arms wide open. There is a quiet shift happening inside you, and maybe you can't explain it, but your spirit feels it. It's subtle, like the first warmth before dawn, like the first breeze that carries a scent of rain after a dry season. That stirring isn't just emotion, it's divine. It's heaven reminding you that you haven't been forgotten, and the season of stillness is about to turn into a season of song. What you've waited for, what you've prayed for in private, is beginning to move toward you in ways you didn't see coming. Type 2323 if you agree that your season of waiting is turning into a season of receiving. There were times you thought nothing would ever change. You tried to stay strong, tried to keep your heart from breaking, but there were nights you didn't know how to carry the silence anymore. You saw others walk into blessings while you stood with open hands and an aching heart. You didn't know how much longer you could hold on. But you did. You held on not because you had all the strength, but because God gave you just enough grace to make it one more day. That quiet perseverance was not weakness, it was worship. It was faith at its purest form. There is something so sacred about trusting God when the answer hasn't come yet. That kind of trust is precious. It's what moves the heart of heaven. You may not have seen immediate results, but what you were building during that wait was far greater. You were building trust, patience, and deep roots that would one day support the blessing God had always intended for you. Now the time is drawing near. You can feel it in the way your heart is starting to hope again. You can sense it in the way peace is returning without you even asking. This isn't just your imagination. This is what it feels like when heaven begins to pour out what has been stored up for you. Your tears were never wasted. They were watering seeds. And now, those seeds are beginning to grow. There is someone in heaven who walked with you through your early years, who laughed with you, maybe cried with you, and who left this earth too soon. Their soul is alive with God now, filled with perfect peace, but their love for you hasn't changed. It's even stronger, purer, deeper. And right now they are near in spirit, standing in the presence of the Father, rejoicing because they see what's about to be released over your life. They see the joy that's coming. They see the healing, the restoration, the peace that's being placed gently into your hands. Heaven is not distant. God is not silent. His presence is closer than your breath. In your weakness, He is strong. In your confusion, He is wise. In your heartbreak, He is gentle. And He hasn't just been watching you from afar. He's been walking beside you every step of the way, catching the tears, calming the storms, strengthening your heart when it was close to breaking. And now, He's beginning to move visibly. Not just in your heart, but in your circumstances. Things are going to start shifting, and not by your effort alone, but by His grace. Type Amen if you believe that God's grace is enough for what comes next. The miracle coming your way is not delayed, it has been perfectly timed. Sometimes the wait is not a punishment, but a preparation. God knows what you're ready to carry, and He knows the exact moment to release it. What's coming isn't going to just comfort you, it's going to change you. It's going to remind you who you are and whose you are. You're not forgotten. You're chosen. You're not invisible. You're precious. There will be signs of new beginnings, soon unexpected moments of clarity, quiet encounters that bring peace, people who speak life into you without even knowing why. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. God is gently preparing you to receive without fear, to rest without resistance, and to rejoice without guilt. It's okay to let go of what was. It's okay to believe again. It's okay to open your heart and say, Lord, I'm ready now. You didn't miss your chance. You didn't mess things up beyond repair. God restores what feels ruined. He brings light into the deepest dark. He brings life back to the dry places. You may have felt like you were in a wilderness for a long time, but that wilderness was never meant to last forever. It was a place of growth, a place where you learned to depend on Him alone, and now you're stepping into the land of promise. The air is different, the light is brighter, the path is clear. This season is not about striving, it's about receiving. It's about resting in the truth that God's love has carried you here and will carry you forward. You don't need to figure everything out. You don't need to have a perfect plan. All you need is a willing heart, and you have that already. God has seen it. He has honored it, and now He is responding with a kindness that will overwhelm you in the best way. Someone in heaven has not stopped believing in you. Their prayers for you didn't end with their time on earth. Love doesn't die. And when love is placed in the hands of God, it becomes eternal. That love is part of what's lifting you now, surrounding you, reminding you that you are never alone. You are being carried by grace, held by love, and led by a God who never changes, never sleeps, and never stops pursuing your heart. Let the old season fall away. Let the weight lift. Let the light in. Let yourself believe that the best is still to come. Not because of your efforts, but because God is faithful. He has written beauty into your story that is still waiting to unfold. He has whispered your name into the winds of heaven, and the response is already echoing into your life. The blessing that's coming is not small. It's the kind that leaves you speechless. The kind that makes your heart tremble in awe. The kind that doesn't just answer prayers, it brings you closer to the one who hears them. This is more than a turning point. It's a divine appointment. And heaven is celebrating with you already. It's hard to explain how heavy the heart can become when the answers don't come quickly. The waiting grows quiet, and the silence can feel unbearable. You pray, you believe, you speak faith aloud, but still, the door remains closed, and slowly a quiet ache settles in. You begin to wonder if maybe the promise was never meant for you. But today, God wants you to know that your name has never been removed from His plans. The blessing you were meant to receive has not passed you by. It was never lost. It was simply waiting for the right time, and that time is now. Type 1111 if you believe God is opening doors for you right now. You've walked through seasons that others don't know about. You've carried burdens in silence, smiled through heartache, and poured love into others even when your own cup felt empty. Heaven saw every one of those moments. Not one of them disappeared into the shadows. They were counted, they were recorded, they mattered. And now, God is preparing a return for all that you've given in faith. This next season will not be about struggle. It will be about restoration. Someone in heaven has been near you more than you realize. Their love for you didn't stop when they left this world. Love like that lives on in eternity, wrapped in the presence of God. They have seen your pain. They have watched you endure, and they have been crying out before the throne of heaven, not for your protection only, but for your joy. They have seen what is coming, and they are full of holy joy, because the wait is over. The answers are arriving, not someday, but soon, not maybe, but certainly, not halfway, but completely. There's a reason your heart has felt something shifting, even before anything around you changed. That stirring deep inside of you is God gently preparing you. You're not losing your mind. You're not being overly emotional. That wave of emotion you've been feeling, the sudden tears, the moments where you feel something deeper than words, it's not coming from nowhere. It's the Spirit moving through you. It's heaven brushing against your soul, reminding you that you are seen, known, and deeply loved. You haven't missed it. Whatever blessing, breakthrough, or miracle you thought had passed you by, it hasn't. God has held it close, waiting for the right moment. He has never once forgotten your name. He's never once stopped thinking of you. And now, the doors that once stayed closed are beginning to open, not because you forced them, but because your heart is finally in the right place to receive what He's been preparing for so long. Type 222 if you believe something new is beginning in your life today. What's coming isn't a repeat of your past. It's not going to look like the seasons you've walked through before. This one is different. It's being shaped by grace, not fear. It's being poured out not from effort, but from mercy. You will not have to fight for what God has already declared yours. What's ahead will not drain you, it will fill you. The people who are meant to stay will come with peace. The opportunities that belong to you will not require you to beg or strive. They will arrive gently, naturally, in God's timing. Heaven is not far. It is close. It is all around you. And the person in heaven who loves you so deeply wants you to know that they are celebrating not because your life is perfect, but because it's being made whole. Their voice is carried on the wind, on the warmth of a quiet sunrise, in the stillness when your heart feels soft and open. You may not hear them with your ears, but you feel them in your spirit, because love that deep can never be silenced. You have walked through long seasons of feeling overlooked. You've given more than you received. You've stayed kind when others were not. You've kept believing when nothing made sense. That's the kind of faith that reaches the heart of God. That's the kind of faith that shifts seasons. And now, God is responding not because He finally noticed, but because everything has aligned. The moment is here. The time has come. The waiting is turning into witnessing. Your healing is not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual. God is touching places in your heart that you thought were too far gone to restore. He is speaking life over the broken places. He is reminding you that your story isn't over, You are not forgotten, you are not behind, and you are not too late. You are right on time for the blessing that's about to unfold. There is a peace coming that will quiet the noise you've been living with for far too long. There is a joy coming that will fill spaces you thought would always remain empty. There is a restoration coming that will leave you in awe, because it will be so clear that it was never your effort, it was always His love. What you've walked through has not been wasted. The silence, the confusion, the sorrow, it all has purpose. And now, the purpose is beginning to rise to the surface. You'll look back soon and see how God used even the most painful moments to bring you to something holy. You'll see why the delay had to happen. And you'll thank God not only for what's coming, but for how He brought you to it gently, faithfully, and always with love. So let go of the fear that it's too late. Let go of the belief that maybe you're not meant for joy. Let go of the lie that your life will always feel this way. Something is changing, and it's not small. It's heaven sent. You are not forgotten. You are being lifted. You are being loved forward into something new. This isn't just another chapter, it's a beginning. One that will be marked not by struggle, but by surrender. Not by anxiety, but by peace. Not by scarcity, but by the abundance of God's presence. What's coming won't just fill your hands, it will fill your heart. Sometimes, the road you walk feels endless. You keep going even when the weight is heavy, even when your steps feel unsure. You tell yourself to have faith, but deep inside, you wonder if your prayers are really being heard. You try to stay hopeful, even while watching others find what you've been waiting for. You smile, you serve, you stay faithful, but the ache doesn't leave. You've been asking, when is it my time? And heaven has been whispering back all along, soon, beloved, soon. And now, that time has finally come. Type yes if you're ready to step into what God has been preparing just for you. There is a deep stirring that comes before the breakthrough. It doesn't always look like joy. Sometimes it feels like exhaustion. Sometimes it comes with tears you can't explain. Because when your heart is almost ready, heaven begins to press in closer. God leans in gently, not to rush you, but to comfort you, to strengthen you, to let you know He's near. If you've felt emotional lately, if your dreams have felt different, if something in your spirit feels tender or open, it's not by chance, it's a sign, it's preparation. You've been walking a quiet road. Few people know how much you've been carrying. Fewer still know how often you've wanted to give up, but someone in heaven knows. They've been beside you in spirit, praying over your life with a love that hasn't dimmed. Their voice may no longer be heard in this world, but their presence is felt every time you've needed comfort you couldn't explain. They see now what you cannot. They see the blessing just beyond the bend in your path. And their heart is filled with joy because they know your moment is almost here. There's no need to try and force it. You don't have to fight your way into this next season. What's coming is not earned through struggle, but received through surrender. God isn't asking you to be stronger. He's asking you to be still. He's asking you to trust that what He has promised He will fulfill, not on someone else's timeline, not based on someone else's success, but in His perfect timing for you. Type 555 if you believe your life is about to shift by God's grace alone. The love of God isn't just a comfort in pain, it's a guide through the unknown. Even when you couldn't see where He was leading you, He was clearing the way. Even when it felt like nothing was happening, God was setting things in motion behind the scenes. There were battles fought on your behalf that you'll never know about. There were doors that didn't open, not because you were forgotten, but because better ones were being prepared. The weight wasn't a wall, it was a shield. The silence wasn't a punishment, it was a setup for peace. There are some wounds that take more than time to heal. They need something deeper, something holy. And that is what God is doing now. He's not just giving you what you asked for, He's healing the part of you that gave up asking. He's restoring the part of you that stopped dreaming. He's bringing life to the places inside of you that felt numb, tired, or left behind. This blessing isn't just an answer, it's a revival. It's breath returning to your soul. The person in heaven who has been calling out for you before God is not worried about your future. They're rejoicing because they know who holds it. They've seen the love in God's eyes when He speaks your name. They've heard the plans He's making for your good. They are not trying to tell you what to do, they're simply surrounding you with love, letting you know you are not forgotten, not unseen, and never alone. There is peace coming. Not a momentary feeling, but a steady, grounding peace that stays with you even when life feels uncertain. There is clarity coming, washing away confusion like sunlight breaking through fog. And there is joy coming, not just the joy of good news, but the kind that wells up from a soul that has been seen, known, and loved back to life. You will begin to see signs, conversations that feel timely, unexpected kindness from people around you, little reminders that you are on the right path. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are God's way of saying, keep going. You're closer than you think. There's a beauty in knowing that even after everything, your faith still stands. It may have felt shaky at times. It may have faltered, but it never died. And that flicker of belief is enough for God to work with. He doesn't need your perfection. He only needs your openness. And you've given Him that even when you didn't think it mattered, even when you were unsure, and now He is honoring that faith. Let your heart begin to breathe again. Let it loosen its grip on the fear that has held you back. Let it believe that goodness is still possible for you, not because you've done everything right, but because God is full of mercy. What's coming won't just change your days, it will change the way you see yourself. You'll remember what it feels like to be held, to be safe, to be joyful without waiting for the other shoe to drop. What's ahead won't be rushed. It will unfold with grace, and when it does, you'll know, you'll feel it. You'll recognize the peace that comes when something was meant for you. There will be no doubt, no fear, just a quiet, soul-deep, knowing that God has been with you all along and now His promises are being fulfilled. So hold on a little longer. Don't let go of hope. Don't silence your heart. Let it feel everything. Let it believe again. Let it open to the miracle that's been waiting for you to be ready. It's coming. It's already here, just beyond the last step of your wait. When your heart has been heavy for so long, it can be hard to believe that peace is possible again. It's difficult to hope for something new when all you've known is waiting, silence, or disappointment. But something is shifting not just around you, but within you. That quiet sense of change you've been feeling, the way your heart has felt a little softer, a little more open. Even after everything you've been through, that's the evidence. Heaven is moving, God is close, and everything is about to look different. Type 2020 to claim miracles being prepared just for you. You have walked a long road. You've survived moments you never thought you'd make it through. You've loved with your whole heart, even after it was broken. You've spoken faith when you felt fear. You've stayed kind when life gave you every reason not to be, and heaven noticed. God saw it all. Not one act of love, not one moment of patience, not one whispered prayer was ever wasted. Every quiet moment of endurance has built a path that heaven is now about to walk upon to bring you what you thought might never come. This season you are stepping into is not a repeat of your past. It's a fulfillment of what was promised. It's not just relief from pain, it's an awakening. God is restoring things you didn't know could be healed. He's breathing life into areas you stopped praying for. This time, it won't slip away. It won't leave you wondering. Because it's not coming by your own strength, it's coming by His grace. And when He opens a door, no one can shut it. Someone in heaven has been praying over you with a love that hasn't dimmed, even with the passing of time. They aren't gone, they're with God, wrapped in peace, full of joy, and completely aware of how close your breakthrough is. They see you, they celebrate you, and right now they're rejoicing in what's being released over your life. The very things you once hoped for in silence are now being fulfilled in God's perfect design. You don't have to be afraid of missing what's meant for you. God's timing is never early, never late, and when it arrives, it won't pass you by. What's coming will find you where you are, not because of luck but because of divine love. It will come gently but clearly. And when it does, you'll recognize it not by the noise it makes, but by the peace it carries. Type Amen if you believe God's peace is entering your life right now. Heaven has been quiet but not absent. There is a reason you had to wait. There's a reason the answer didn't come when you asked. God was not ignoring you. He was protecting you, preparing you, shaping you. You weren't being punished, you were being positioned. And now that you've made it through the storm, now that you've grown in ways you never imagined, He is ready to give you what was always meant to be yours. This blessing is not about making everything perfect. It's about making you whole. It's about bringing clarity where there was confusion. It's about filling the space in your heart that grief tried to leave empty. It's about lifting the weight from your shoulders and replacing it with peace that makes no sense to the world but feels like home to your spirit. That's what God is doing now, and it's already begun. You may begin to notice small things, doors opening that once stayed shut, relationships mending without effort, hope rising where there was once fear. These aren't random. These are signs. These are glimpses of the bigger picture God is painting over your life. You don't need to understand all of it to trust it. You just need to stay open, stay soft, stay willing to receive. There is strength in your story, not because everything went the way you planned, but because you stayed faithful even when it didn't. That strength has been shaping you for this moment. And now, it's time to receive, not to strive, not to prove yourself, not to earn, but to receive, because you are a child of God. And what He gives is always wrapped in mercy. You are going to see a version of yourself you've never met before, one that laughs freely, one that sleeps peacefully, one that walks without fear. Because God is lifting the burdens you weren't meant to carry, and He's restoring the joy that life tried to take from you. He's writing beauty into every chapter, even the ones that hurt, especially those. Someone in heaven is still loving you, still cheering for you, still present in the spirit that surrounds you. Their voice may be silent in this world, but their love is still speaking. You'll feel it in moments you can't explain. You'll sense it when you least expect. That love isn't gone. It's just higher now, closer to God, and still wrapped tightly around your journey. There's a gentleness to what's coming. It won't feel forced or uncertain. It won't require you to shrink yourself or perform. It will feel safe. It will feel right. And it will remind you that God never forgot the desires of your heart. He just held them carefully, waiting until you were ready to receive without fear. Let your spirit rest in this truth. The hard part is ending. The striving is over. You're not about to lose. You're about to gain. And not just a blessing, but a deep, beautiful, soul-level shift that will bring you peace beyond understanding. There are moments when life seems to stretch beyond what we think we can bear. The weight of waiting, the ache of uncertainty, and the quiet tears that fall without anyone noticing, those are the moments heaven treasures most. Not because they are joyful, but because they reveal your strength, your endurance, your faith. When no one else saw what you were carrying, God did. And He didn't just watch. He kept every tear, every sigh, every prayer. And now, that same God is preparing to return all that pain with comfort, all that loss with light, all that waiting with wonder. Type 1212 if you walk by faith, even when the path is unclear. You have been through a lot, more than most people realize. You've stood in the middle of the storm with hands raised and heart trembling. You've chosen forgiveness when anger felt easier. You've chosen hope when giving up would have made more sense. And all of that wasn't for nothing. That quiet strength, the way you've stayed kind and faithful even when you felt forgotten, that's the kind of faith that heaven responds to. What's coming into your life now isn't random. It's been prepared in love. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's gentle. Like the hush after a storm, like the stillness when the sun rises. This blessing will not demand anything from you. It will not come with anxiety. It will come with peace. It will feel like something inside of you finally breathing again. Someone in heaven has been close to you in every quiet moment. When you thought you were alone, when you whispered prayers into the night, when your soul felt too tired to speak, there they were, not gone, not distant, present in a way only eternity can explain. Their love for you did not end. It only grew deeper. And right now, they are rejoicing. Not because everything has been easy, but because everything is about to shift. They've seen the preparation. They know what God is about to release, and they want you to know it's real, it's close, and it's yours. There's a quiet kind of joy that's coming. Not the kind that fades quickly, but the kind that settles into your bones. The kind that makes you smile without a reason. The kind that comes from knowing you are safe in God's hands. That kind of joy is already moving toward you. It's already unfolding. It doesn't need you to earn it. It only needs you to trust. Type 222 if you believe God is doing something new in your life. You have felt left behind before. You've watched others step into blessings and wondered if you had been overlooked, but you weren't forgotten. You were being preserved. You were being prepared. Your time is not too late. It's right on schedule. And when the door opens, and it will be a door no one can shut. It will be the right door, the peaceful door, the one meant for you all along. God has not ignored your faithfulness. The moments you kept going, even when your heart was breaking, He saw those. The nights you whispered, "Help me," into the silence, He heard you. And He didn't just listen, He responded. Even now, things are being aligned in your favor. The waiting may have felt endless, but behind the scenes, heaven was moving. Angels were sent. Prayers were answered. Healing was prepared. You are about to see what God was working on while you were holding on. This is not just about answered prayer. This is about restoration. God is not just giving you what you asked for, He's giving you what you didn't even know you needed. He's reaching into the places that hurt the most and breathing life into them. He's softening what became hardened. He's filling what felt hollow. He's reminding you what it feels like to be loved deeply, truly, completely. There will be moments very soon when you'll pause and feel the presence of peace in a way you haven't in a long time. Not because everything is suddenly perfect, but because you'll know you're no longer carrying the weight alone. You'll begin to laugh without forcing it. You'll find rest without searching for it. You'll feel joy where there used to be sorrow. That's what God is bringing. Not a fix, a healing, not a rush, a restoration. Someone in heaven has seen the road you've traveled. They've seen you choose grace. They've watched you love through loss. And they are not only near, they are celebrating, because what's ahead for you is worth every tear. What's coming will not only bless you, it will touch others through you. Your story, your journey, your faith, it is about to speak life into someone else. Your breakthrough will become someone else's reason to believe again. Let yourself hope. Let yourself dream again. Let yourself believe that it's not too late, not too far gone, not too broken. Because God is a God of beginnings. He creates beauty from ashes. He makes the impossible possible. And what He's doing now will leave you in awe, not because it's flashy, but because it's full of His fingerprints, full of His peace. You don't have to know how it will happen. You only need to rest in the truth that it will, that heaven has been moving, that love never left you, that God never forgot you. And now, everything you walk through, every valley, every tear, every unanswered prayer, is being redeemed. So be still, be open, be ready. Because your time is not coming, it's already begun. The wind has shifted, the door is opening. And you are walking into a season of calm, of clarity, and of divine joy that will make your soul feel like it finally came home. There is something powerful about the moments that don't make sense while you're living them. The ones where you give your all, but nothing seems to change. The seasons where it feels like everything is standing still and all you hear is silence. But even in those moments, heaven has been active. Even when you felt alone, your name was being spoken with tenderness and care before the throne of God. Every silent prayer, every private cry, every quiet "Lord, please," none of it was overlooked. It was planted in sacred soil, and now the harvest is coming. Type 666 if you trust Jesus to lead you through every chapter of your story. The beautiful thing about your story is that even when you lost hope, even when you couldn't see a way forward, you still held on. Not perfectly, not always without fear, but you didn't walk away. You stayed with God even in the confusion. You stayed when your heart was tired, and that kind of faith, it matters. Heaven doesn't celebrate only the big victories. It rejoices in the quiet faith of hearts that refuse to give up. Right now, a new season is beginning to form around you. You might not see it clearly just yet, but the shift has already started. It's in the way your spirit is beginning to soften again. It's in the way your heart is slowly daring to believe. You're not imagining it. Something is unfolding, quietly and powerfully. God is moving in ways you didn't expect and couldn't have planned. And someone in heaven, someone who once laughed with you, believed in you, loved you, in a way only they could, is now closer than you know, watching it all with joy in their heart. They see what's coming. They've heard what God has spoken over your life. They aren't trying to warn you, they're celebrating ahead of you, because heaven knows this is the moment everything begins to turn. The tears you cried in the dark have reached their purpose. The waiting that felt endless is giving way to answered prayers. The promises that seemed forgotten are finally awakening. You may begin to see changes in the smallest things, doors opening that once stayed shut, a peace returning that you thought you lost, opportunities that feel light instead of heavy. This is what it looks like when heaven aligns with earth. This is what it feels like when God's promises begin to touch your everyday life. You don't need to make it happen. Just stay open. Just keep your heart soft. Let God meet you right where you are. Type 2323 if you agree that God's timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it at first. This blessing is not coming because everything went right. It's coming because grace is stronger than failure, because love is deeper than pain, because God saw the moments no one else did, and He's chosen now to honor your faithfulness, not with empty words, but with peace that feels like safety, with joy that doesn't fade, with healing that restores not just your circumstances, but your spirit. There are things in your life that once caused you to shrink, to hide, to question if you were enough. But that's not who you are anymore. The battles have shaped you, but they didn't break you. You're stronger now, and not the kind of strength that makes noise, but the kind that endures. The kind that believes again, even after heartbreak. The kind that trusts again, even when the past gave reasons not to. God is going to use every part of your story, not just the good days, not just the parts you're proud of. Every tear, every fear, every unanswered prayer, they are all part of the tapestry He's weaving, and the picture He's creating is more beautiful than you can imagine. You'll look back one day and see it so clearly, why it had to take time, why the waiting was holy, why the doors didn't open sooner. It will all make sense. But for now, just trust that what's ahead is better than what's behind. The person in heaven who's been whispering your name in prayer, they are not far. You may feel them sometimes. A memory that suddenly fills the room, a song that brings tears, a feeling that someone is near when no one else is around. That's not coincidence. That's love. That's eternity touching earth. That's God allowing you to feel what never truly left. Your story is not over. The hardest part is not the ending. It was the stretching, the becoming. And now, you're stepping into a chapter that will feel lighter. Not because life is suddenly easy, but because grace is now surrounding you in new ways. You'll find rest, you'll find peace, and you'll begin to live from a place of trust instead of fear. Let this truth settle deep into your heart. God hasn't forgotten a single detail. Nothing you went through will be wasted. He's going to restore what was lost, repair what was broken, and release what's been delayed. It won't look like the past. It'll look like peace. It'll feel like hope. And it will sound like joy. You don't need to earn it. You only need to receive it. You don't need to chase what's already been written for you. Let God bring it. Let Him show you how good He's always been. Let the love of heaven hold you through every remaining fear and fill every waiting place in your heart with peace. You may not realize it, but heaven has been closer than ever lately. In the moments you've been quiet, when your thoughts have felt tangled or when peace felt out of reach, there was a nearness you couldn't quite explain. That warmth in your chest, that sudden calm, that tear that came out of nowhere that was heaven touching earth. That was God reminding you, I'm still here, and your story is far from over. Type 1919 if you're ready to receive everything God has been preparing for you. There is a tenderness in God's timing that often goes unseen. We think of miracles as sudden and loud, but most of the time they come gently. They come in stillness, in soft turns of the heart, in moments when we almost gave up but didn't. You've been in that quiet place for a while now. You've shown up with faith when it didn't make sense. You've trusted without answers. And now, because of that, something sacred is beginning to move on your behalf. This is not just about a breakthrough. It's about your soul. It's about restoring the parts of you that went quiet. The parts that stopped dreaming. The parts that learned to settle. God has been calling those places back to life. Not all at once, but slowly, steadily, with love that never forces, only invites. He is reminding you of what it feels like to hope without fear. Someone in heaven, someone whose life once touched yours so deeply, is witnessing everything. Their presence is not gone. Their love didn't end when their time on earth did. It expanded. And now, they are part of this moment. Not with sorrow, but with joy. Because they see what God is doing. They see the door beginning to open. They know that what you once thought was delayed forever is finally making its way to you. They've been watching over you when you thought no one else understood. They saw the strength it took to keep going. They saw the nights you cried and the mornings you got up anyway. They are rejoicing now, not because life is perfect, but because it's changing. Because heaven's plans for you are still alive. Because you are about to see just how deeply you've always been cared for. Type Amen if you believe God still has something beautiful waiting for you. You may not feel ready. You may still feel unsure. But the truth is, your heart has already been prepared. Every challenge, every delay, every time you had to choose faith over fear, it all brought you here. You are not the same person you were a year ago. You've grown. You've healed. You've let go. And because of that, you can receive what you couldn't carry before. What's coming won't require you to force it. You won't have to beg. You won't have to chase. It will come naturally, peacefully, and with clarity. You'll feel God's fingerprints all over it. You'll know it's from Him, because it won't drain you. It will breathe life into you. And when it arrives, it will feel like home. Like something you've always needed but didn't know how to ask for. Let yourself believe that this time, it will be different. Not because life is suddenly easier, but because you've been made stronger, softer, and more open. God is doing something that goes beyond your understanding. He's reaching into every corner of your story and placing peace where pain used to live. He's writing beauty where sorrow left its marks. Heaven has heard every whisper. Every time you said, "Lord, I don't know what to do," heaven listened. Every sigh, every pause, every unspoken cry, it was all caught in the hands of a loving God. And now, those moments are turning into movement, into progress, into peace. There is a softness returning to your life, a warmth that doesn't just touch the surface, but settles deep inside. That is the presence of God. That is the peace of Christ. And it is coming to stay. Not just for a moment, but for a season. A long, steady, healing season where things begin to grow again. Where laughter returns without the weight. Where hope rises without hesitation.